Hello everybody, I will start my today's another live coding session. So today I solve this question. Read n characters given read4. Given a file and assumes that you can read the file using a given method read4. Implement the method to read n characters. Method read4. The API read4 reads 4 consecutive characters from file. Then writes those characters into a buffer array buff4. The return value is the number of actual character read. Note that read4 has its own file pointer, much like file fp in C language. Okay, definition of read4. Parameter is character. This is the buffer 4. Yep. And returns the int. Buffer 4 is the destination, not the source. The result from read4 will be copied to buffer 4. Okay, below is a high-level example of how read4 works. Okay, so the first call of read4, and we read 4 characters from the file, hence read4 returns 4. The second call of read4, and buff4, yeah, is updated with string e and return 1 because we read 1 character from the file, and read4 returns 1. Yeah. The first one, this returns, buff4 is updated with abcd because this could be read. The third and fourth, etc. calls of read4. Buff4 is updated with an empty string. And we read 0 characters from the file, hence read4 returns 0. Okay, I see. So let me clarify my understanding first. So in this question, I'm giving a file. So okay. So as the interface, so I'm giving a file, which is a kind of file object. And also will be given. No, actually file is not given. Yeah. File and read4. This is file is not accessible, but I have the access to read4. I can call it in the read method. And what is given to me as the argument is buffer. What is buff? So this is the buffer array. Oh, here. Destination buffer, list of string. Buffer array buff4. And what is buff? So I think this is the destination. So I think this can be so does the list of string, maybe. Yeah. So even though this is the list of string, I can think of this as a kind of list of chars. So I put 1 character on 1 slot. And I will be also given n, which is number of characters to be read. And I will return nothing. Yeah. But I will update. So as side effect, I will update buff object given. Okay. So as the constraint, I think what matters is n can be 0 or larger, right? Oh, n is at least 1, so I have at least 1 character to read. And also I'd like to confirm if length of buffer is longer or equal to n. Otherwise, I don't have enough space to put characters into the given list. And I can't confirm that. But I think this is guaranteed. I don't know. Let's think this is big enough. Okay, that being said, let me take a look at some examples. So let's think of the case when buffer is given and n is 0. In this case, let's think none is put first. In this case, what I should do is buff should be still. Yeah, no change. Like this. Okay. The next example, let's say this is file I'm reading. A should be the first element in the given buffer array, and that's it. Let's say I'm asked to read 2 characters. In this case, A and then B and then num and blah, blah, blah. So I think it becomes interesting from this 5. Until then, I just have to read in this way. Okay. So, sorry. C and then D and DE and D, A, B, C, D, E, A, B, C, D, E. I read 5 characters, so C, D, and then E. Here I read 6 characters, so I should read C, D, and E, and F. Like this. Okay. So that being said, this is what I should do. And I have read4 method. So this read4 method takes the buffer 4, which looks like this. And I will pass the read4 method, and this returns an integer. So let's say I have only ABC in the file. In that case, this array is muted to ABC num, then this returns 3. So that being said, what I have to do is quite simple. Take a look at the remaining n, and if it is larger than 0, I have to call this method, read4 method. And while remaining n is larger than 0, call read4 and store the result into buff. But what I have to take care here is if rem n is, let's say, 2, and this returns 3 result, I should put only 2 characters. So to store rem n characters, onto buff. Yep. And then update remove n. Yep. And I continue. Also, what I have to take care is if this returns something with 4, it's end of file. So I also have to take care of this. Okay, that being said, let me get started with the implementation. So this is n. So while n is larger than 0, I continue something. And in the end, I return buff. No, I don't have to return buff. I should return So I'm still wondering what I should do if the given n is longer than the file length. Yeah, exactly like this. Oh, in this case, I should return 3. So actually, I have to return number. Read count, read char count. Okay. So let's say, wait, I have to do this. So let's say read count, I start from 0. And what I should return is read count. Okay. And if n is, what should I do? Read count is less than n, I continue, and I call read4 method. Yep. And what happens is read count is returned here. So what I should do is I put the result in the buff4 onto the return buff. Okay. So as long as I can read something, I should continue. But if I can't continue, that's the end. What should I do? So read4 count. So this should read something like A, B, C, num. Okay. So I read something from here. So this is the new char. So I put this onto the buff read count like this. Then I increment read count. Okay. But what I have to take care is, number 1, it is possible that this read4 is 0. In that case, I run out of reading the file. Here, I should break. Because it's end of file. But even though here, if read count is 0, read4 count is 0, no, wait. Yeah, if read4 count is 4, even if In that case, in the next loop, read4 count can be 0. In that case, there's nothing here in the for loop. Okay. And also one more thing I have to take care is read4 count can be enough here. In that case, I would like to finish the iteration. Okay. So what should I do? I should break here. And I also have to go out of the while loop. So it's not clean. Let me think how we can improve this. So what I can do here is here, instead of read for count this one, I would calculate rim count to be read count and minus read count. So here, instead of reading read for count, I check minimum of read count or remaining count. In this way, if rim count is 2, I read only twice, and read count is incremented only twice, and then I go out of this loop. And even though it doesn't break here, I come back to line 58, and then that's the end, because read count is now equal to end. Okay. So I will do the complexity analysis. The time complexity should be O of n, because in the worst case, I have to, fetch each char for n given n characters. Even though I call the read4 method, I can think of this as the constant time, because it has to read 4 characters from the file internally. So this read4 count is called n divided by 4 times. So I can think of this in total over n. For space, this should be constant, because I need the buffer array here, but this is the constant length. Okay, let me dry run my code. So in this question, I have to think of some cases. Number 1, the case when n is 0. Number 2, n is 4 or maybe 8 or 12, which is the multiply of 4. Number 3, n is not the multiply of 4, like 2. And case number 4, now n is fine, but okay, from here, I have to take care of end of file cases. Again, n is 4 and length of the file is 4. This is some case I have to take care. Also, even though I direct to read 5, length of the file is 3, like smaller. Also, I have to take care of the case if length of the file is exactly multiply of 4. So I have 4 cases. N is multiply of 4 or not. And for each case, I have to check if length of the file is multiply of 4 or not. That being said, like this. Okay. Yep. But no. n should be larger than this, so I should take care of this. Yep. And also maybe I should take care of this case. Both of them are multiplied, but not the same. And here, first the same. I should test this. Okay, so these are the cases I have to take care, even though I don't do dry run for all the cases. So let's begin with n0. Let's say file is A, B, C, D, E, 3. First 3 file is empty. No, long enough. Yeah. So in this case, if n is 0, read count begins with 0, and 0 is smaller than n, which is currently 0. So this isn't true. I go to line 91, and I return read count 0 and no change on the given buff. So I pass this case. For this case, buff should become A, B, C, D, and I should return 4. Let me check. So here in line 78, read count is 0 and it's 4. So I initiate the buff for array and read for count and call the buff 4. And I get A, B, C, D. And read for count is 4. Now rim count is n. 4 minus 4 is 0. So here, wait. No. N is 4, read count is still 0, so this should be 0. No, 4. So meaning of 4 and 4 is 4, so I read it 4 times, and I get A, and read count becomes 1. Then I read B, and becomes 2, and in that way I read A, B, C, D. They're put on the buff, so this is updated with A, B, C, D, yes, and read count is now 4. And then line 88, because this is true, I break. So I go to line, no, sorry, read for count is 4, so this isn't true. I come back to line 78, but now read count is 4 and it's 4, they're the same. So I go to line 91 and then return read count 4. Okay. So definitely the thing I have to take care is in line 84, rim count is smaller than read for count. Yep. I'd like to test that case. So I will go with this one. So in this case, I expect that I should read A, B and return 2. I will check. So read count begins with 0. And read count is 0 and it's 3. So I go to line 79 and I read AB. And read for count is now 2. So n minus read count is 2 minus 0 is 2. I still can read something. So here, rim count is 2, read for count is n is 3. Yeah. 3. So this should be 3. I want to read 3 characters. But actually, read for count is 2. So this should be 2. So I can be 0 and 1. And I read A and put into the array, yes. And I read B and put into the array. And read count becomes now 2. Yep. Then here in line 88, read for count is 3. No, 2. Wait, I'm a bit confused. So rim count is 3. Read for count is 2. Yes. So I read twice. And in line 88, read for count is now 2. So 2 is more than 4. So I break and I come back to run no, I go out of the while loop and return read count, which is now 2. Because I iterated only 2 steps in run 84. Okay, so that being said, I passed this test case. I'm pretty confident in my code, so let me submit. Good. Okay, accepted. Great. So let me quickly wrap up. So today I saw the question, read and characters given read4 method. So in this question, there is a file I'd like to read from, but I don't have the access to the file directory. But I have the read4 method. With this method, I can read up to 4 characters from the file. And my task here in this question is to implement read method. So in this read method, I'm giving n, and n is the number of characters to be read. N can be larger than 4, and n can be larger than the file size. And that being said, I implement the read method. So basically, as long as I have, as long as I haven't read all the characters, I haven't read any characters, I keep calling read4 method. But I have to take care that if read4 method reads less than 4 characters, it ends the file. So I have to take care of that. Also, it is possible that even if I read, let's say, 3 characters with the read4 method, if the remaining number of characters to be read in the read method is only 2, I can throw away the last 1 character. So these are things I have to take care in this question. Okay, that being said, I finished my coding practice. Thank you so much. Bye.